Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia-Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of Astronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information.
Are you searching for unique handmade black cultural crafts, t-shirts, and accessories? Look no further. Introducing your ultimate destination for the vibrant and captivating creations that celebrate Rastafari and African culture. At Black Dominion, we bring you a curated collection of exquisitely designed, crafted products honoring the rich heritage of Rastafari, Ethiopia, and the Black diaspora. With our user-friendly website, shopping is a breeze. We ship worldwide, bringing Black culture to every corner of the globe. Visit www.blackdominion.shop today and start exploring the incredible range of handmade Rastafari and Black culture. Find your inspiration, embrace your roots, and stand out from the crowd.
Yes, Royal Family, blessed, blessed. Give thanks for your presence with us, Honorable Priest Isaac here. Listen, family, while everyone is getting together, while the family is coming in, I'm going to be giving you a bit of a treat. I'm going to be giving you one of the samples of our ancient astronomy course. And this one is entitled Celestial Academics. This is just one of the many aspects of the course that we have, the ancient astronomy course. Those of you who are a part of the ancient astronomy course, you know what I'm talking about. So just get comfortable. In fact, I mean, this is what we're speaking about this evening. So I think it would be good for you to full enjoy this.
A sidereal day is the time taken by the Earth to rotate on its axis relative to the stars. A sidereal day is 23 hours, 56 minutes, 4.091 seconds. This means that each star will rise 3 minutes, 56 seconds than it did previously. Like the islands, cities, and towns, every object in the sky has two numbers that fix its location called right ascension and declination, more generally referred to as the object's celestial coordinates. Declination is the celestial sphere's equivalent to latitude, and it is expressed in degrees, as is latitude. For declination, positive and negative refers to north and south respectively. The celestial equator is 0 degrees declination, and the poles are 90 degrees, positive 90 degrees and negative 90 degrees, north and south. Right ascension is the celestial equivalent to longitude. Betelgeuse, also referred to as Betelgeuse, is a red supergiant and one of the largest stars visible to the naked eye. It is also referred to as Alpha Orionis, marking the eastern or right shoulder of the constellation of Sahu, also called Orion. The celestial coordinates of Betelgeuse are right ascension, 5 hours, 55 minutes, 10 seconds. Declination, positive 7 degrees, 24 minutes, 26 seconds. On the other side of the celestial equator, you have the brightest star in the constellation of Sahu, its left foot, Rigel. Rigel, also called Beta Orionis, is a blue-white supergiant located about 870 light years away from the Earth and is about 47,000 times as luminous as our Sun. Rigel's celestial coordinates are right ascension, 5 hours, 14 minutes, 32.3 seconds. Declination, minus 8 degrees, 12 minutes, 5.9 seconds. The Earth's ellipse, which is known as the ecliptic, is the plane of Earth's orbit around the Sun. The Earth's axis is not perpendicular to the ecliptic, but has an inclined angle of 23.5 degrees. This is called obliquity. This obliquity, coupled with the Earth's orbit around the Sun, determines how we see the heavens around us. We observe the sky as a spherical surface. This is why it's called the celestial sphere. With all of this taken into consideration, the celestial latitude and longitude, declination and right ascension was established to give coordinates to the apparently fixed objects and moving ones as well. Now that we comprehend declination and right ascension, let us look at another system of coordinates known as azimuth altitude coordinate system. Depending on the hemisphere of the observer, north or south, the celestial pole becomes an essential point. As observers, we see everything rotating around the celestial poles. Imagine facing true north. Draw a line from the celestial pole until it hits the horizon. The azimuth of the object that you have identified will be the angle of its clockwise bearing from geographical north. The elevation from the azimuth is the altitude. Keep in mind that the azimuth altitude results depends on the observer's location on the planet.
Oh yes, my family, beautiful, beautiful. For those who are just coming in, that's not the latest documentary that you're looking at there from the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. No, you are actually looking at just one of the chapters of our ancient astronomy course. So just in case you didn't know, now you know. That's just a snippet, just a touch, a little sample of the ancient astronomy course. And as I've always said, family, although it has been designed, let's just say, for the mature person as such, it is definitely something that you could give to the young ones. I'm talking about pre-teen and coming up the ladder, teenagers, young teenagers, whatever the case is. The ancient astronomy course, as you could clearly see, you know, we take our time to bring the information out. As you can see, extremely academic and on point. And there are different subject areas. That was celestial academics. We also have the stars, we have the history, the planets, we have black holes, and we go on and on. We actually have the section where we show you how to read the constellation as it relates to your natal chart. Definitely, family, a wonderful investment. And as I said earlier, remember, you can get the whole course for only $100. I mean, that's not the price of the course, but once you are a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest radio program, definitely you would get it at half of the price. Now, this evening, just gonna spend a little moment before the Tiger's Nest radio program itself, the shock of the hour. In a few moments, we will be going straight into the studios of Radio Antigua and bring to you the Tiger's Nest radio program. Remember, this is a program that comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 p.m. So in a few minutes, we'll be going to Radio Antigua. Of course, you know how to get to Radio Antigua. You definitely check the link. Of course, it's priestisaacinstitute.com, priestisaacinstitute.com. And this evening, we will be speaking about the great eclipse on the 8th of April, 2024. You know, give thanks for you, my royal audience, you know. Let me say I'm very thankful. I mean, you're the ones that come and congregate with I, you know. Billions of people in the world, you're the ones that come and congregate with I. And I'm very thankful for the audience, those who love, those who like, those who don't like, those who are paid to come here to watch and spy. It's all right. I'm just thankful that you're here, and give thanks we could come together. And, you know, because it was from the audience. One suggested even in one of the previous chats that, you know, we should speak about the 8th of April. Now, of course, you know, as an ancient astronomer, and of course, an official archaeoastronomer, we would have heard of the different hypes as such going around the 8th of April. And I'm not going to go into everything in detail here. I'm definitely going to save it for the radio program tonight, which is the Tiger's Nest, in about a half an hour. But I'm just definitely coming to the YouTube audience to highlight a few things, somewhat prep you for the program this evening. So at least when we go into the program tonight, we could just bam, 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 hit the points as we go along. Because what I want to do this evening in the Tiger's Nest, I want to look at the eclipse from a, if you want to say, you know, a domestic level. Yeah. And then I would like to look at it from the prophetic level, you know, and then I would also like to look at it from the astrological level and the astronomical level, which really the astronomical / astrological level is where I want to go tonight, at least right here in the Tiger's Nest on Radio Anu. I'm talking about Radio Anu TV, yes, on the YouTube. But let me say here now, first of all, again, for those who may not be aware of the eclipse on the 8th of April, there is an eclipse that will be coming our way for the 8th of April. It's not a hurricane. It's not something that is coming by surprise. In fact, this is something that you can map out as far as, you know, your mathematics can carry you. Because as I always say, the heavens is alive. It's a living, you know, entity, the heavens. Now, what I want to touch upon this evening is the astrological concept about this being an Aries eclipse. I mean, come on. This eclipse will be taking place in the center of Pisces. When I say the center, astronomically, the center. This is not time for fairy tale now, and belief, and Merlin and Archimedes and the old star chart. This is time for precise, accurate astronomy. I must be clear, especially since many ones are putting so much behind this eclipse, and the spirit is so strong. Well, now is the time to get the astronomy correct. Don't be worrying too much about Madam, you know, Windmaker and all of these ones reading your palm and the crystal ball. This is the time for those who would have gazed through the telescope, and those who would have studied the star, and those who would be able to map the heavens and understand where the planets are at this time. Hey, listen, when that eclipse hits on the 8th, no offense to all the speakers now, something I haven't heard anyone speak about. 24 hours before the eclipse, the moon will eclipse the planet Venus. Exactly 24 hours on the 7th. I will show you all of that tonight. And then it's going to go and eclipse the sun. Very deep vibration. Now, of course, you know, the heavens do declare the glory. But when you take into consideration all of the talk that is surrounding this eclipse, and I must say from the prophetic perspective, you know, it is something for you to look into. I don't know how many of us would have really taken our time to do our research, but there are several things, especially from, I would say from a Hebrew and a biblical perspective, that really stands out. You know, you don't have to be a believer, but it just naturally stands out. And of course, one of the first things that is being highlighted is not just the path, but the path in relation to previous paths. I would have highlighted that earlier in a clip that we did right here on the YouTube, where because of the path taken, you have specific, well, one clearly highlights an X. Some people are connecting it to Twitter and just the X in general, but you must admit that the arms of the X and specifically the length of the arms really coincide, you know, mystically with what ones have been highlighting in the whole aspect of the Hebrew letter, the Tav. Now, I'm not pretending to be no Hebrew expert, you know, but when you observe what those who have been highlighting this have been saying, it is quite interesting, something to look at. Now, let me just highlight this here. It came up here. So you see the Hebrew letter, the Tav, said here at the time of Ezekiel, and ones are connecting this to the literal part of the eclipse of the 8th of April, which is a few days from now, 2024, and the eclipse that took place on the 21st of August, 2017. I don't know what the audience, think about that specifically. Quite interesting, you may not want to put your neck on the block for it, but at least for sure, you must admit that it is quite interesting, really stands out. Okay, fair enough. Then now, there is another connection because there is a previous eclipse that took place in 2023 on the 14th of October. And this would appear to give the impression of an A, and which is really still similar to the Aleph. That's where Aleph and Alpha and A, Alps, all of these things really connected to the A. So the Alpha and the Tav is said to be the beginning, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning without the end. Interesting. Now, I'm saying, I'm revealing it in that way because this did not originate with me. You understand? This is something that was told to me for those who figured this out, because there's more. So now, apparently, where the intersection of the eclipse of 2017 meets the eclipse of the 8th of April in the next few days, this intersection will mark a town by the name of Egypt, Little Egypt. And one of the rabbis was saying that in their science, the same Tav is equivalent to the number 400, which of course, the 400 prophecy of the Bible speaks of the children of Israel going into captivity for 400 years. They shall return to Egypt in ships. You understand? So again, the 400, the intersection, you see Egypt. And what is also outstanding is that it is said that I've heard anyone dispute it, but it is making the rounds that this eclipse will pass through at least 7 towns that go by the name of Nineveh. You've heard of that one, at least 7. In fact, in one discussion, I heard this reporter say it would be 8 if you count in Canada. There's a Nineveh supposedly in Canada. But whatever the case is, so Nineveh now of the Bible is that city that was spared by God. But Nineveh was in line for serious whipping. But according to the story now, Jonah was sent to speak to the people of Nineveh, and he said, listen, man, I know they ain't going to turn from no sin. And you, well, you're the merciful, but whatever the case was, Jonah didn't go. And he hid away on a ship, and the storm came, and the people in the ship realized that he's the cause of the storm. And they threw him overboard, and a fish swallowed him. And he spent 3 nights in the fish, 3 days and 3 nights, and he prayed for help. And he said, if you get me out of this darkness, I will go and do what you asked me to do. And the fish spat him out. Jonah, I'm talking about, on the shore. And the Lord said, well, go ahead. And he went to Nineveh and he did what he had to do. And the people of Nineveh repented. If I'm not mistaken, as I said, the story was so dread that everybody fasted, down to the chickens and, the dogs and the canary, everybody fasted, for their sin. And the Most High pardoned them, for their sins. No, I don't know if this is a case of the pardon. I don't know if Jonah came to them, and if Jonah came to them, well, I don't get the impression that these people here are repenting for their sins at all. But anyway, there are 7 Nineveh or Ninevehs in the way here, in the path of this eclipse. So, there are a lot of interesting circumstances here. If the X that looks like the Tav, if you don't buy that one, or the A that looks like the Aleph, if that one doesn't hold you, all right, I can understand. I mean, we don't jump at anything that moves neither. But at the same time, the pathway and the Nineveh, that's interesting. And the crossroads and the little Egypt, that's also something to discuss, especially since the Tav, according to the rabbi I was listening to, is 400 and symbolic of the 400 years. All right. So how did all of this happen? Is it by a coincidence? Because remember, coincidence, there's nothing wrong with coincidence. How we use the term, it just means it coincides. You know, I see a lot of things that stand out mystically. You hear me speak of Anu, and even the flag that we have, and the sun and everything. And I know the individuals that would have designed the flag, you know. So it's a deep thing for the independence. That's just 1981. This is not 1776 now, 1981. But I'm just trying to show you that sometimes the Most High just moves in mysterious ways. There are 2 ways to look at this for the thinking mind. Eh? There are 2 ways to look at this. All of these cities, Nineveh and Egypt, because they have several Egypts in the US, and Bethlehem and Zion and Nineveh and these things. So one could say, well, listen, the random or the ratio of this happening is just quite possible. Any which way the eclipse went, you could count at least 5 Nineveh in the way. That could be something a person would bring up, because you have to look at all of these angles. And then there is the Freemasonic understanding. Remember, a lot of these cities were built to align with the heavens. That's for sure. I wonder if you understand, even from the time of Benjamin Banneker, who put Washington, D.C. together, they understood the movement of the heavens. They understood space and time, seasons. They understood eclipses as well. They understood astronomical events for the next 200 years when they made these cities. So you may be surprised that cities that have been named and organized and put in specific and strategic places to accommodate these eclipses that will take place in the next 10 years, the next 500 years, how many 100 years, scores of years, whatever, because we're dealing with individuals who build, you know, with that sort of, to use the term again, Masonic mind. That's just reality. That's just reality. It's nothing I'm making up. You know, that's why cathedrals are designed to align with the equinox and the solstice. There's certain cathedrals, as you know, that are built specifically, like the Carthage Cathedral, Notre Dame, all of these cathedrals, as a matter of fact. Some of them, you go into the church and you see the stained glass window with the cross. And on the 21st day of March and the 21st day of September, during the time of the equinox, when the sun shines through the glass perfectly, a rose appears. Now, the rose is not there all the time, eh? But on these 2 days, the rose appears in the middle of the cross, rose and cross and Roshi Crucian. You comprehend. So in the same way that window pane has been put just perfectly to align with the light of the sun, whatever angle this light is coming perfectly, so that this impression can be seen. That's how it is. That's naturally the mind frame. So the church and all buildings of importance, justice buildings and courthouses, especially in these cities and places, the Washingtons and the New Yorks and the Los Angeleses and the USA in general, even down in these little Caribbean islands, I'm telling you, the roundabouts and the government houses and the cathedral churches aligned with this mountain and all sort of things. I'm telling you, I am telling you. You understand? And a lot of these monuments were created or built during the time of the chattel enslavement period. Obviously, the manpower and a lot of the genius too were from the Africans, the Moors that were here, and those that they found here too, that they managed to also enslave, because we were here as well. Everyone didn't come here. We were here. Not we were once here, you know, man. We were here. You understand? So anyway, I think we've gone into a history lesson there. I want to highlight now the whole aspect of where the eclipse is taking place, because I gotta check my time too. Family, remember we are, oh yes, we gotta seal this up now. Remember, family, Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. What did I say? Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. We will be definitely moving over to the Tiger's Nest in a few moments. But before we go there, I definitely want to highlight to you exactly what will be taking place in the heavens. Specifically, I'm talking about on the 8th of April, yes, 2024. So let me just tell you, family, the link is in the description below. In fact, I'm just putting the link in the description below to be, show you what's going on. We're just putting the link in the description below where you can go straight to Radio Anu, where you can go straight to our website, PriestIsaacInstitute.com, PriestIsaacInstitute.com, and make sure you're there for 7 p.m. All right, I'm just doing several things at once here. All right, good, very good. Now tell me, can you see this? Just let me know, those of you who are in the chat, if you can see. Just give me a moment. Yes, tell me if you can see the sky chart. Okay, that should be it. If you can see the sky chart, let me make sure. I should be able to know if you can see. All right, perfect. Now, and I already have it set here, basically. Listen, family, this is deep, you know, and I'm telling you, those of you who really love or appreciate, as they say, the understanding of the heavens, you know, this is why we would encourage you even to get your natal chart, your ancient astronomical natal chart. Anyone that is listening that would have received their natal chart, I know they can testify the value of their natal chart. When you have, you know, because it's a real thing, first of all. I mean, by now, no one can deny the reality of us. We are connected to everything. And all of these, you know, happenings and eclipse and solstice and equinox and sunrise and sunset and retrograde and this and that, it's all connected to us, and the moon in this constellation and the sun in that constellation, coming out of this constellation, retrograde in this constellation and returning back to the other constellation. That is deep stuff. And it's connected to us. When you were born, the time, when the sun set, when the sun rise, when the sun was here, when the sun was there. It's important. It does have a vibration. All of that is connected to the plants. The plants react to the rising of Mars. The plants open when the moon is full on you. The coral reef spawn at a specific time of the month. So I'm sure you as a human being also have some sort of connection with all what's taking place around you in the cosmos. It only makes sense. Now, do you understand what's taking place? Whether you understand, comprehend, yes or no, doesn't take away from the fact that something is taking place. But again, no matter how versed the astrologers are in the interpretation, which I'm sure they're not too bad with the interpretation too, but they have to be off, terribly off, because their mathematics is not on point. Go and check all the astrologers, family. Go and check all the astrologers for the 8th of April. Those of you who are, get counsel from the astrologers, ask them, where will the eclipse take place as it relates to the zodiac belt? And they will tell you, unless it's a Vedic astrologer, they will tell you that all of this stuff is happening in the constellation of Aries, the ram. So 2024, the fourth day, the fourth month, pardon me, the 8th day. Now, what is interesting, about the events of that day is really the movements of Mercury. You could see Mercury right here. And as I said, we were highlighting the sun right there. Now I'll just central, make sure everything is central. I want to show you the movements of Mercury leading up to this day. So we're going to go by days. Please follow me. So the 8th, the 7th, the 6th. Let's go straight and we'll find our way. Okay. Around there you see. Now this is the constellation of Pisces. And this is the planet Mercury. And we have Venus, Saturn in Aquarius, and the sun is right here under the fish, which is really the eastern fish of the constellation of Pisces. Very good. So we are approaching the spring equinox. Follow me good. So it's the 16th of March, the 17th of March, the 18th of March, the 19th of March, the 20th of March. So you could clearly see that it actually has literally crossed over into the Pisces zone. And the fact that it has to cross over into the Pisces zone on the equinox, that means we're definitely balancing off, obviously, with the Aquarius age. Maybe another discussion for another time. 21st. Now, as we are observing Mercury, here we have Mercury, the sun, Mercury. If you observe Mercury, it's moving, going, ahead of the sun. But at this time, the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, as it's going on, it's westerly bound. It turns around 29th, 30th, 31st. Now, it does not pass this boundary line here with the fish. And as it goes in retrograde, as they call it, that's what happens. It appears to turn around. It appears to turn around. And this is now the 4th of April, a few days from even now. And it is as if it is returning back to the sun. But look good, here comes the moon. This is the 6th day of April. Here comes the moon. Now, on the 7th of April, you see the moon. Literally, it will eclipse somewhere between 1 and 3. It will eclipse Venus. This is the same time, the next day, it will eclipse the sun somewhere between 1 and 3. It's going to be actually a mystic eclipse. Now, they say it's going to be one of the longest total darkness ever. All right, so 7th of April, you see the moon will pass before Venus, interestingly, and then 24th Hours after, it will be moving into the sun. And there is Mercury. Now remember, Mercury was way ahead of the sun. And Mercury literally, if you want to say, stood still and slightly reversed, went into retrograde to be very close to this event. So it's Mercury with the sun and the moon and Venus not too far off. In fact, Venus actually, remember, that's what an eclipse is. An eclipse really is the absence of light. An eclipse really is the absence of light. So it's not just a show. It's very important that we grasp this. I mean, here in the Caribbean, when you have a solar eclipse, you would see the change in the animals, roosters and the hens. So we would have, when I was younger, a lot of fowl, chickens, rooster, hens, just all over the yard. And when the solar eclipse would have passed, all of the fowl went up into the trees, because that's where they sleep in the night. They go up and they come down early in the morning. I grew up seeing this kind of stuff. So when the great eclipse of I think it was 1995, or I can't recall off my head, passed, all of them went up, literally went like if they were ready to go to sleep. And then when the eclipse passed, they just came back down. Now, I'm just showing you, we're dealing with nature that is in tune, nature that has not, diverted one way or the other. So if the roosters, if the hens could react like that naturally, that means everything else in nature is reacting to the darkness. I wonder if you get me, just naturally. Everything else, even yourself, maybe you may not go to rest because it gets dark, but your natural organs, your internal, is reacting to the movement. So if it's melatonin because it's sunshine, and it's serotonin because it's night, well, believe me, when the eclipse passes over, the serotonin will begin to process stronger than it would have been processing if the eclipse wasn't taking place, because darkness has now covered. This is very important. So this is what we understand, but many other things will be taking place even in the spiritual realms that is connected to the night, because the light has been cut off, So it's not just about wishful thinking like, wow, this is just the time to release all the bad energy and take up the good energy. No. And all of that stuff, as astrologers, they say that all the time. I would agree. This is a time of heavy karma, and we will be speaking about that in a few minutes on the tiger's nest. The whole aspect of the karma and the energy, the energy of karma when it comes to the eclipse. And it's just natural. I just explained to you that it's a natural thing for the light to be shut off. The light of Venus, the light of Mars, anything that's eclipsed, the light is shut off. So even going in front of Venus, the light is shut off. Venus's light is a very important light. It's a specific energy. It's going to be shut off for a few moments when the moon passes in front of it. And then the great light of the sun will be shut off 24 hours after, when the sun passes in front of it. That same time, the sun licking up Nineveh, jump over the border and into Canada and knock next Nineveh. Well, it passed over the boundaries of Little Egypt, creating Alpha and Omega, Aleph and Tav. What a serious thing, as real can be. I wonder if you understand. So, I will encourage everyone again, family, the Ancient Astronomy course. As I said, you would have already seen for yourself, those of you who were here at the beginning. If not, you should watch this from the beginning. And you got an understanding, a glimpse of the quality of the course that we offer. That's just one of the many chapters that you were looking at. And as I said, it has been designed really for a mature person as such, But without a doubt, you have a child, in fact, to encourage intelligence, within your preteen and your teenager, I would encourage the Ancient Astronomy course. And remember, once you are a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest radio program, which will be starting in a few minutes, by the way, of course, you know, all of our courses that are one-time payment only courses you get for half price. And that is why you get the Ancient Astronomy course for only $100. And of course, that is if you are a member of the Ancient Tiger's Nest subscription team. So all the link, you know, you can find the link. All the links are in the description below. The links for the radio station, Radio Anu, which many of you will be pressing right now. Some of you already have it open. And of course, the link, which is for the website, and of course, our email to get more information on our Ancient Astronomy course. Get some real astronomy, man, and put the astrology stuff aside. And of course, remember your natal chart reading. You can definitely get your natal chart reading right here at the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. All right, Royal Family, give thanks. Remember, as I said, the link is in the description below, and make sure you press it and come straight on over to Radio Anu, and we definitely will be going into some different meditation right about now. We will be continuing the reasoning really as it relates to the eclipse that will be taking place even at that time. But of course, on another level, on another level, I have a few things to share with you that, to be honest, I wouldn't really share it here. Link is in the description below. Rastafari.